News from further afield now, and Queen Elizabeth II's coffin is en route to Edinburgh. The departure of the casket from Balmoral Castle marks the start of an odyssey of national mourning. I'm joined now by our UK correspondent, Olly Barratt, for an update on that. And so, Olly, the process of all the formalities around the funeral begins in earnest. Tell me about what we're describing as an odyssey of national mourning, beginning with the casket making its way to Edinburgh.
Absolutely. That journey is being followed by thousands and thousands of people in person who are lining the roads between Balmoral and Edinburgh. It's around 170 miles, that journey, but it's going to take about 6 or 7 hours in total because of the amount of people who want to be out there to pay their respects. And as the coffin passes those crowds, they're often falling silent. Many people are throwing flowers into the road, sometimes onto the hearse itself, because they want to get a glimpse of the Queen and pay their tribute in that way. When the Queen gets to Edinburgh, she will lie in rest there for a period, and on Monday there will be a service for her, which the King will attend, as well as the UK Prime Minister Liz Truss. We're also seeing other parts of the ceremonial aspect continue. For example, here in Windsor today, the proclamation that Charles is king has taken place. You'll remember that yesterday that ceremony began really at St James's Palace in London, with that message being read out on the balcony to the public down below, that Charles was now the king of the United Kingdom. Well, that's been cascading through the UK and continuing in various parts of the country. And as I say, at Windsor Castle just behind me, that happened a couple of hours ago now. Very large crowds out here as well, wanting to see things like that, but also wanting to come here to pay their respects. It's been a very busy day here in Windsor, very busy day at Buckingham Palace, very busy day at Balmoral, and even busier along that route that the coffin is moving. Yeah, and part of what people have been talking about,
Olly, as far as I understand, is the public appearance of Princes William and Harry, as well as Kate and Meghan Markle.
Yeah, that happened here in Wednesday yesterday, and it was a huge surprise for the crowds that were gathered. Those crowds had come here really to pay their respects to the Queen. No one was expecting that they were going to see what they ended up seeing, but as security officers started to move around and move barriers into different places, people got a sense that something was happening, and it's really been a huge talking point from the last 24 hours or so, because we know that Harry and Meghan spend time in Windsor. This is where they have a place when they're in the UK. William and Kate moved here recently, actually, because their children now go to school nearby. So we had an idea that the two couples would be close by each other, but we had no idea at all that we would see them all together. And since then, as you say, a conversation point, and body language experts really poring over that appearance, that 45-minute or so appearance in front of the crowds outside Windsor Castle here in Windsor, trying to get a sense of the current relations between those two couples, between those two brothers as well.
Yeah. Lastly, Olly, just on the preparations, we now have confirmation, don't we, that the funeral will take place on the 19th of September. How's that taking shape in terms of the organizing of it all, the people in charge of ensuring that, you know, it's likely to be massive in terms of the diplomatic activity that will be involved in the shuttling of the various people?
Absolutely, a huge endeavour diplomatically in terms of the world leaders that will come, how they'll all be accommodated, how many people you can get inside Westminster Abbey when so many people from all around the world will want to be there, but also just the logistics of the amount of Brits that will descend on London, and tourists from all around the world as well, who'll just want to be anywhere near Westminster Abbey on the day, confirmed as the 19th of September, Monday, which will be a bank holiday after that was a public holiday after that was approved by King Charles. I mean, the policing here, the transport workers needed to be on duty. We've had transport advice already going out to Brits today, just warning them in the run-up to that funeral that it's going to be incredibly busy in and around London throughout the whole period, but particularly on that Monday. It's a huge, huge challenge. The fact that officials have had years to prepare for it and make all of these preparations, you know, is one thing, but at the same time, no one's really ever dealt with anything quite on this scale before, and so there's a huge amount of uncertainty about exactly how well and how easily it can all be carried off.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that update. That's our correspondent, Olly Barratt, live for us from Windsor in the United Kingdom there, giving us an update ahead of the burial of the late Queen Elizabeth II.